All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the report from Tiger Mountain with Mr. David Thrussell, filming up here just for a little chat. Pre-elections, 1 week to the US election. What do you think, mate? What's going on?
I think it's less than that. I think it's on Tuesday.
That's right, less than a week.
Yeah.
And we've just heard the news that RFK could be the head of the CDC. What do you think about that?
I think that's astounding.
Lean in. You're going to need to lean in
I
and
think
address
it's
the camera.
astounding if it happens.
Yep.
You know my position. I think that all these elections are rigged. I think they've been rigged for a long time, one way or another, by various levers, various mechanisms.
Yeah,
The most obvious one is
lean in a bit. I think lean in.
It's of course is the media.
Yep.
But there's I think the software that tallies the votes probably has a backdoor. It's all controlled, in my view. Okay.
But what makes you think? I mean, I know you have that theory, but you have no proof to that theory.
No, I have mountains of proof, actually.
Like
the
what?
the most obvious thing is that they have, we have these stupid elections, hoo-ha, this candidate, that candidate, punch and judy show, wrestling show, bang, 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 bang. The election happens, and then nothing changes.
Yeah, but hang on, we did the...
That's the most obvious
we
one.
We had the, what's it called, put the Aborigines in the Constitution, and a lot of us was thought
that's my point.
Yeah, yeah, but we did win that election, though. You see what I mean? Like, if it was rigged...
but that proves my point, because nothing changed afterwards.
No, but that's a different issue. That's a different issue. What you're saying is
do it.
That's a different issue, because you're saying that there's a back door. If there was a back door, why didn't they rig it and why didn't they win?
I assume in that case, probably it was going to be too obvious. They have to maintain this charade of democracy. It's a fraud. I think it's an obvious fraud. Yeah. But it's a very good weapon. It's a very good method for controlling the population. The population have this nice, touchy-feely, sweet
So when it's
idea.
too big to rig, they let it win, but then they don't do it anyway.
Well, I think it's all about optics. It's all about optics, So
in other words, if Trump, for example, is too big to win next week, he will be allowed to win, but then they'll sabotage him further down the trough.
Oh, I'm sure there's all sorts of deals going on in the background. It's whoever. Come on, you know this. It's whoever's going to work best for the globalists, okay? It's a puppet show, and whoever's going to perform better for the globalists,
but there are certain election results.
They will put in that position.
But there are certain election results that are good for the globalists. Obviously, Kamala is better for the globalists than Donald Trump.
Not necessarily. I mean, I think if the globalists want war in the Middle East, for example, maybe Trump is better, because he's probably going to be better at delivering that. He will animate his base, who will join the army. They will be patriotic.
But there's no proof that Trump will do that. Trump so far has been anti-war. So, but it is possible though he might change.
That would be my prediction. Okay,
Yeah.
My prediction is if Trump gets selected next week, my prediction is that means war in the Middle East.
So when you say selected, you mean he doesn't actually win, or I
think the elections are rigged. I think they're.
But hang on a minute.
Yeah.
It does appear. What do you mean by that? So, who would win if it was held legally?
Probably Trump, I would assume.
So then, then it's not rigged, because they would win.
No, I disagree with you. No, I totally disagree with you, because it will be decided. The vote doesn't decide it. Okay, it's just about optics. So if it's too obvious to rig it, they'll pretend that the election vote matters. But it's all controlled. I think there's so much evidence.
But you've always thought that. You've always thought everything's controlled. But how do you? I did try and bring that up last time we had a chat. How do you fight things? You know what I mean? If everything is
can
controlled.
tell you very directly. Look, my view is this whole realm, and I've tried to suspend judgment and receive more evidence and information, about this sort of thing. But to me, it seems so obvious now. This whole political realm is completely manipulated. Okay, it's completely manipulated. There's a few people, there's a handful of people in there.
I mean, Robert F. Kennedy looks okay.
He looks okay, sure, I get it, but overall, the whole thing is so sort of manipulated, and it's manipulated to harvest the public's attention, their energy, distract them in this sort of ridiculous political theatre thing, so that people get invested. They have this crazy idea that they have.
How do you resist if that is the case? What methods?
I can tell you precisely. The reason they give you that show, that whole pantomime, is to harvest your energy and to arrest your interest.
And we know they do that.
So you withdraw that. Okay, stop playing their game, because it's a game.
So what, you just come and live up the country like you?
No, there's plenty of other areas that are far more realistic to be involved.
Like what?
Politically. Deny them, I'll tell you right now, deny them your consent. Don't agree to all their bullshit.
Yeah,
You know, you can withdraw your consent. You can have civil disobedience. You can simply say no. I would suggest, it's just my suggestion. I'm very uncomfortable with telling people what they should do.
Sure.
But my suggestion would be to actually withdraw from the political pantomime, because I think it's complete.
So don't vote at all.
Just withdraw from the whole thing.
So just get the fine, or if you're not on the books,
look,
if you're not on the books,
just
stay
withdraw.
off the books.
Because honestly, I do view it. I have to be honest with you, on a sort of an occult or spiritual or philosophical level.
Yeah.
Playing along with that whole charade.
Yeah.
Is giving your consent to that system, and it's a system that is fraudulent.
But
it's
the system still
fraudulent.
has control over you, though, whether you like it or not. And you're still part of society. You know what I mean? Like the police could visit or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
you
still are.
I don't deny any realities.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm. You know,
but
I
do you think
we
some
firmly
versions
deal with reality.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why we shouldn't engage actually really with this political pantomime, because it's a distraction and it's a delusion.
Yeah.
This idea that politicians, the political structure, listens to the public is absurd.
But there are parties, though, or whatever, that are more what you call libertarian, that are more believers in bodily autonomy and stuff. And there are parties that obviously aren't, more like Labor and the Greens.
All a charade. It's a charade.
Yeah.
I don't buy into it any of it. You know.
Yeah.
I've suspended judgment. I've tried to receive more
Obviously,
information.
the American election doesn't affect us directly, but it affects the world.
Oh, it affects the world.
Of course. But I mean...
but just wait. It'll basically, essentially, in the things that matter, okay, they'll do a bit of window dressing, okay? Let's say, for example, if Trump wins, right, my prediction will be there'll be a little bit of conservative window dressing.
Yes.
You know, there'll be whatever the conservative talking points of that week will be that don't really matter, okay? They'll have a little bit of window dressing, but the things
So it's
that
your
matter...
belief that people like Trump and Musk and, RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, that they're all in on it, that they know this?
No, I don't believe that at all.
No. So
but I believe that there's a system that... the system is rigged.
Like a deep state. Like a deep state.
Of course. I mean, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. Obviously, the first Trump term had a lot of problems. It was because every good thing Trump seemed to want to do, like build the wall, for example, he was not able to do, because they could find $100 billion for Israel or $100 billion for Ukraine.
This is exactly my point.
Yeah.
So these are the things that, for example, Trump stands on. Yeah. None of them happen, okay? Yeah. None of them happen. And yet
but he tried, though. He tried. You know.
It doesn't matter. None of them happen. None of them happen. But yet they can find $200 billion for Ukraine.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
There's no money for the wall, if that's what you're interested in. There's none for that. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It'll never happen.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, look, here's $200 billion
for Israel and for Ukraine. Yep.
Come on, does that not tell you that the game's completely rigged? It's straight in your face.
No, I mean,
straight in your face.
I agree.
Right there.
No, we're on the same page there. But I guess what I'm saying is, though, that Trump is somebody who would, at least on the surface and probably even behind the scenes, would like to change things for the better. It's just that at a level of the deep state, if he gets in, because he's already been in once before, that they sabotage him. But, his election, in a sense, would be legitimate.
Hence my point. The machine, these people, at the end of the day, president, vice president, blah, 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 whatever, these people are tiny, basically inconsequential cogs in a machine that will grind them into dust.
Trump doesn't seem like that. I mean, Trump seems like a giant fly in the ointment of the globalists, and obviously they're going to deal with him.
I think that's the optics that's presented to you, okay? To present you.
So he's not a fly in the ointment. You know what I mean? Like because
No, I think they use it. They use it to get the division that they want to have.
He's not like John McCain. You got to admit, he's not like someone who'll go along.
But
you want a war, of course. Globalist agenda, of course.
That's part of the theatre. There are some good guys. There's some bad guys. They're going to duke it out. Blah blah blah. Meanwhile, the machine pretty much does exactly what it was doing in the first place. Come on, it's right in front of your face.
Well, sure, the machine carries on because there is a deep state machine behind it. But in my opinion, and I'm sure you know this, that I believe Trump is a legitimate opposition to it all. But it seems to me that you're saying that he wasn't.
If he was, really, he'd be dead. He would be dead years ago.
They have tried to kill him. You know what I mean?
Really? It all looks pretty hokey to me.
Anyway, I guess we'll have to agree to disagree. Well, that's it. This is 1 week before the election, or less than 1 week, Thruster.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens, mate. All right.
Whatever happens, nothing will change.
Yeah, that's what you think.